probably about 6:30 when I got off work, and I come home, and in the house, the bathroom, I was using the restroom. The bathroom is the second window that's closest to this side, and I hear what sounds like limbs breaking. I can hear the dogs going at it with what sounds like a growling scream. So I assumed it was a large cat, mountain lion, something like that. I've heard of there being mountain lions and bobcats from the hunters that come down. So, finished what I was doing, and I come outside, and I ran down here, and I was standing probably about right here, and I'm hollering for the dogs, and I can hear limbs still breaking, and the smaller dog, the healer, come down probably about 100 foot from this way, and she was walking down as I was kind of coaxing her to come down, and about that time she gets up to me, I go to holler for the other dog, and I see a bipedal, blackish brownish being. And I mean, it looks my size, but given the distance, it's kind of hard to tell. But it stood there for just a little bit, and I'm in shock. I don't know what to do. So we have kind of like a 20-second standoff, and I snapped back to it, and I thought, where's the other dog? So I hollering for Reaper, and he comes down. He's coming down out here, and it takes off barely in the wood line, straight up the hill on two legs, long strides. I mean, it looked like cake work. I mean, and it's a good incline, and it's not horribly thick, but it's thicker than what I would be able to run through, you know, at that kind of speed and that much ease. About that time, dog come down, foamed at the mouth from side to side, past his jawline. So we went back up there, walked back up to the house.
Can you point out again where it was standing?
Yeah. So right past the pole, there's a little bit of sunlight towards the left-hand side, and after that, there's a little bit of shade that comes to a point. It was about right there. And it got barely into the wood line for me to be able to still see it take off up the hill.
You saw its face?
Oh, it was smushed. It was like it was flat. It was really flat, and it wasn't like how stereotypical how it would be leaned over. I mean, it was straight up, and on two legs, stood straight up.
Did it have shoulders?
Yeah, I mean, it was broad. But it looked like my size.
How tall are you?
5'4". But from that distance, you know, I guess it could be hard to tell. And given, you know, the brush, you don't know how far it was standing in the brush for it to look like my size. I mean,
good point. From
my perspective, I mean, that's what it looked, and that's what I told everybody when I come back to the house, and I told them, I said, it looked like my size. You know, and they're like, well, if there's one, there's got to be more. I mean, they got to repopulate.
Yeah.
There's no telling how old it was. You don't know. So, my mom and my aunt kept telling me there's a juvenile Bigfoot running around.
Mm-hmm. What color was the skin on the face?
It was dark. It was definitely dark. It blended well with the rest of its hair, which was a dark brownish black. And it was, you know, given the time, it was kind of like this, how there's no really direct sunlight hitting it. So, I mean, naturally, it looked pretty dark.
Earlier, you mentioned one of your friends came over, and he said something that a lot of witnesses say. Can you tell us what happened when your friend came over about telling her about the sighting?
Oh, that they have a festival at the Martinsburg?
Well, not so much the festival. It was more about you didn't want to tell her about the sighting or something?
Like you didn't care if she believed you or not?
Oh, no. I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way, you know, to tell people about it. And it's not that I mean, you can think I'm crazy if you want, but I'm not going to sit here and try and convince somebody of something I know I saw with my own 2 eyes. You know, when Mr. Stevens, the farmer, had come down and talked to my mom, kind of like, it was before you guys had, and said that he wanted to talk to me, and which I've never talked to him before, just wave when he drives by. But given the time I get home, he's usually always packed up and done for the day. And me and my daughter went for a walk down the road. One day I got off a little earlier, and he'd come up from the opposite way, and he stopped and he said, you happen to be the young lady that saw Bigfoot? And I kind of chuckled and I said, yes sir, I guess that's me. So he shut the truck off and sat there and talked to me probably for about 30 minutes or so. And that's when he told me about how he saw it on the road. How it looked.